And of course, she is a counselor by profession. She's going to tell you a bit about herself. Anne, habari yako?
Salama kabisa. I'm happy to be here once again.
Yes.
And hello to all the listeners also.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you want to, have you ever told them if you're a family woman?
I think I said as a bit of it.
Okay.
So maybe let me do a proper introduction today. My name is Anne Karambu Mwangi. Mwangi is my husband, married to David Mwangi.
Yes.
A mother of 3, 17-year-old, 13 and 8, 2 boys and 1 girl, married for the last 18 years. I thank God for that journey. I'm a food technologist, a nutritionist, a counselor. Maybe no wonder the word consultant. I'm also an elder in Sitam Thika Road.
Yes, yes.
And I also run an NGO that touches on youth empowerment called Youth Concern. Yeah, basically, those are the many things that I do.
Those are the many hats that you wear.
Yeah.
Asante sana. It's good to have you. So we began a conversation.
Yeah.
We were talking about foundations in actually foundations of marriage. And I believe one of the reasons why God wanted us to speak about that is because he wants people to go back to the basics.
Yes.
Not just be very excited that we are getting married, but to look, have we founded it on the right ground? Yes. It reminds me of that particular scripture that says, we used to sing it in Sunday school. Build his house upon a rock. Yes. So if we do not build marriage on the foundation that is Jesus, there is bound to be problems.
Yeah.
And of course, for several people who this may be your first time listening, Anne has gone ahead to encourage that even if you didn't begin right, there's a way that you can go back and make things right.
You begin from the point you had the truth.
Yes. So you go back and don't be discouraged even if you feel like, oh, my life is, all falling apart, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
There's a way that you can always go back. But for today, we are going to be looking at questions. So I would highly encourage us, if you have a question aligned to marriage, kindly send it to us on 20933 20933. If you don't have to mention your name. Yeah. If you feel you want to keep your... Yeah. And then our WhatsApp line is for messages, of course, is 0717-400-555. But before we get there, there's a lot that has come up in terms of, because we are not perfect, there's a way our families will end up being broken in a way. Yes. So quite a number of messages coming in, people coming from broken families, people who there's a lot of sin, for lack of a better word. So I would like you to just respond to that even before we begin answering questions.
Maybe for the sake of the person who was not with us for the last 3 Tuesdays.
Yes.
Allow me maybe to begin with setting the foundation.
Yes.
Because one of the things I've realized is if you really don't know the truth and you know what is error, sometimes error has a way of clouding us. And because it is very overwhelming, without having the truth, it's like you don't know what to measure it with. So I wouldn't want to handle our topic today without just first connecting it to the foundation, the very foundation of God concerning marriage. So we said that the intention of God for marriage was for kingdom expansion.
Yes.
I think that statement is clear on its own. Because we have put every other reasons for marriage, which in essence it's not. But the plan of God, when bringing a husband and a wife together, was kingdom furtherance. So when I am doing business, I am expanding God's kingdom.
Yes.
When I'm raising children, I am expanding God's kingdom. When I'm working, in that office. I am expanding God's kingdom. Now, how can I be able to do this? It is only when I am connected to God himself. So the desire of God is that two people will come together who have gotten to know him,
Yes.
so that they can be able to raise a godly offspring.
Yes.
And when our intention is how we raise that godly offspring, we will be very careful how we raise them. So sometimes you realize that mostly people are not able to emphasize on raising this godly generation. And because we have diverted from the main thing,
Yes.
we have ended up now raising dysfunctional families. When we use culture as our foundation, when we use maybe modernization
Yes.
as our foundation, when we choose to disobey the plan of God or the intentions of God, we cause a dysfunctionality in the family.
Yes.
That today we may be mentioning a bit on dysfunctional families. How are dysfunctional families formed? And what are they?
Yes.
A dysfunctional family is a family where there is abuse, a family where there is abandonment,
Yes.
a family where there is pain, constant pain caused by parents or siblings. So it is the people in the family that are causing the pain on each other.
Yes.
A domestic abuse where there is sexual abuse, where maybe the parent is absent. The parents are there but they're absent. That is a dysfunctional family.
Yes.
Where there is either multiple partners in a marriage relationship, there is going to be problems.
Yes.
A place where there is infidelity, that family is not functional. The greatest impact is normally on the child.
Okay.
Unfortunately, sometimes we fight up here as parents, we fight up here as the married couple.
Yes.
The person who suffers the most is the child who is down here, who does not have the capacity to be able to fend for themselves. They have not grown to a point where they can even be able to understand what is happening. We have another certain dysfunctionality that is happening where, and I think I had mentioned this, where parents use their children as the people they laid for their emotional pain. I mean, when I want to heal from my emotional pain, I get that comfort from a child. I don't know whether you understand that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
If we are not very careful, we will find ourselves in a place where we are overburdening the child. They have not matured enough, but we are telling them so many things about your spouse. It can be a wife or it can be the father or the mother. So you're giving the child so much information about the father or the mother.
Negative.
Yes, negative. And sometimes even positive.
Eh?
We need to measure what is this information we are giving a child, because the children have a certain capacity to process information. So we don't want to give them information that is beyond their age. Like when there is infidelity in the family and one spouse decides that infidelity issue, they will share it with the daughter or the son.
Hey.
Yes, it happens a lot. How is that child supposed to relate with the father or the mother?
So a parent should protect
Yes.
the child. Yeah.
Guard them from emotional pain. Issues of lack. Sometimes when we are struggling financially,
Yes.
we go to the extent of almost explaining everything in details to a 10-year-old and giving them the details of how desperate the situation is. I've met children in high school who go to school and they carry their family to class. I've met boys telling me that I am in school, but I'm with my mother every single day because I don't know how my mother is surviving. I have met young people telling me I want to stop working, schooling, so that I can go get a job and assist my mother. How did this child get to see this? Okay, sometimes, yes, they can see, but I feel like there is a lot of explaining that is done. So the pain may be there, the financial constraints may be there, but please don't give a child who has not matured enough details.
Usimbebeshe mzigo yako.
They may not be able to process it at their age.
Yes.
So it will cause dysfunctionality in the family. And now what happens with this dysfunctionality, Shiko?
Yes.
Some of the things now that brew from it is sexual immorality, is drug and substance abuse, it is issues of depression, we will have issues of hopelessness and promiscuous behavior.
Or as a way of escaping.
Yes, because the pain is too much. So when you go through pain, the first thing that happens is that it destroys your worth.
Yes.
It crushes the inner person. So when the inner person is crushed,
yes,
you can accept any kind of promiscuous behavior, any perversion, you will accept it because you are looking for something that can relieve this pain that you are living. So most of the challenges that we are having today in the society, and that's why for me, if we were to really go back, especially the church, if we were to go back and be intentional about building families in the foundation of God,
yes,
we would heal so much in the society. When a husband and a wife are fighting, we are putting direct pain on children. So as we throw things and speak words on each other, I was being given a story, I think it was yesterday, of a 7-year-old who was narrating how the mother is beaten by the father, and she ran away from the house and left them. I don't know what is in the mind of that little child. Even going through school, I'm not very sure how she will be able to concentrate in class. You can see the level of dysfunctionality that we have caused in the family, in the when we don't lay the right foundation.
Foundations, yes.
And sometimes it is selfish interests, Shiko.
How?
I want things to go my way. Things have to go my way. They cannot go any other way.
Oh, like
in a relationship.
Wants to pitch her children against the husband.
Not really.
Okay.
I'm trying to say that some of the issues are not as glaring as they look. It is just selfishness.
Okay.
Maybe it is one spouse wanting their way against the other, and that is causing the disagreement between them. But the person suffering the most is this child who has not matured enough to be able even to understand what exactly is happening.
Yes.
So they are seeing a lot of dysfunctionality and pain, yet the parent who is supposed to be the support system and the nurturer is the one causing that pain. Of course, I know there are some dysfunctionalities that will happen,
yes,
that are beyond us. But even if they are, we have a place to run to, which is God.
Yes, yes.
So there is no state that can be hopeless. We can choose to run to Him as a refuge.
Yes.
And make sure that this pain is the pain that is happier is not going down to the children and destroying their future. Yes. Because the moment the future is destroyed, we might not be able to recover it. Allow me to say, young people, children who some are even into masturbation, pornography, drugs. Some of all these things, when you look at the root, it is the dysfunctionality in the family.
Okay. Hey. May God help us and heal the pain.
Yes.
Because I've also seen several people write about their parents. Very deep issues.
Yes.
Very traumatizing issues. So possibly when we come back, we're going to be answering some of those questions, because I can already see several people asking questions aligned to marriage. If you are there and you would want to ask a question, Anne will be answering these questions in the next hour. But we just wanted to give a background information like Anne has just done, so that we can understand what happens when we don't start on the right foundation. And if you are in, what are they called? An abusive relationship, how that affects not only you and your spouse, but children. So I'm really glad that we have looked at that. And there's someone who could be saying, talking about how then I've come from, I'm in a blended marriage.
Yes.
I know that is very prevalent these days. So I came with my own children, he came with his own children, and we are now, possibly we are even born again, but we are now married together with all our children. Kindly help somebody understand how that can be done in a way that that pleases God, because I've seen a lot of pain coming from there. Sometimes children may not even regard the other partner as their father or something like that. Just help somebody who may be in a blended situation.
Our biggest challenge, Shiko, is that sometimes when we are talking to children, at all ages, we talk to them like people who are not understanding. So even when we are making some decisions, we don't think that consulting them is important.
Okay.
One of the things that brings a lot of pain in blended families, and blended families, I'm talking of a scenario of I have been married, I had a child, and I've gotten into a marriage relationship that there was also another child. So my spouse has a child. I also have a child who is not their child. So there is that blended state. It is a case of maybe a widow and a widower. They have met. Everybody with their children.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't know whether it's our African culture that allows us to do this. But we want our children to just flow with the flow. So I bring in a stranger to their lives and I tell them, now we are moving to the other home. And as adults, we are expecting that children are going to just adopt. And we even force them to call them fathers and mothers. And there was no preparation, no information, no guidance, nothing. Our African culture, sometimes with how we handle children, allow me to say, is the bigger contributor. Because what we envision is I am getting into a relationship, and I know this. Let me give my case. I have my children, and I know I am introducing them now to another man who is not their father. I am supposed to first talk to them, inform them of the new changes that are to come.
Yes.
Help them go through counseling to be able to embrace this new lifestyle that is changing, because a new person is coming to take a role in their life as a father who is not their real father.
Yes.
So that they can know, how do we manage this? After we have done that with the children alone, I am now supposed to introduce this man to their life gradually, not just like come and this is the person you're supposed to be calling a father. After that, the children are supposed to be given space to express their opinions about the same.
Okay.
After that, they're supposed to now go for counseling together, father The father who is coming, the mother who is coming in, and the children together.
Okay.
They are taken through a session that they can be able to air out their fears openly. Now, what we do in blended families, we operate from a place of assumption.
Okay.
So the parent assumes that the child is going to automatically accept, and the child is here confused. And some of them, Shiko, because I've dealt with them, they are bitter. Yes, very.
Okay.
Some of them are so bitter that someone is in their 40s, they met with this stepfather 30 years back, and they have never accepted them.
Wow. Hey. Okay, I think we're going to go for a very brief break, even as we hear Melissa telling us some of the stories that we need to hear this time. And then when we come back, Anne is going to be answering some of your questions. I can already see them streaming in. We are looking at marriage, foundations of marriage related questions, and I can see them. So in case you're out there, I'll just give the number once more. The number is 20933. That is for the text, and the WhatsApp line is 0717 400 555. You also send a text there because I cannot be able to listen to an audio or watch a video right this moment. But right this moment, allow us to just go for a news break. We'll be back in a short while.
Hope FM. It's now 12 p.m.
Listen and live.
A revival is breaking out. The voice of hope in the air.
Hope FM, listen and read.
News on the go with Melissa Odur.
Members of Parliament have expressed frustrations over Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's national address last evening as Parliament kicked off discussions on the impeachment motion this morning. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula termed Gachagwa's move abhorrent as they went against the expectations that he tables his defense before the House. Now, Kibwezi West MP Mwangi Mutuse, who presented his 11 grounds on the impeachment motion, wrapped up his submissions with a forceful call for DP Gachagwa's impeachment on all grounds. He laid out the 22 companies allegedly used by Gachagwa to siphon government funds and acquire properties, and questioned how Gachagwa's young sons, both in their 20s, were able to secure loans of 600 million shillings without proper security. Mutuse also accused Gachagwa of attempting
He's the king, greater than everything. We sing out and we sing loud, but to keep the rocks from crying out. So we sing some kind of melody to please the king, greater than everything. We sing out and we sing loud, but to keep the rocks from crying out.
And he goes by the name David Dan, the song, So We Sing, so that the rocks will not sing. And I agree that I will be in that category, that will sing for God so that the rocks will not have an opportunity to do that. Bring us to exactly 13 minutes to 12, actually 13 minutes after 12. Asante sana and welcome to the last hour. Today we're talking about foundations of marriage, and with my guest, Karambu Mwangi. She's a holistic and wellness consultant, and of course she has already given us a very good background. In case you're just joining us, please go back and listen, because she has told us several things to consider. And I liked what you said about us as parents, giving opportunity to children, number one, to express themselves, especially when it comes to blended marriage situations, and also to hear them out. To express themselves and not to shut them, just making decisions, because they are little humans. They are little humans.